Welcome to episode 21 of the THELMA Tapes, the Living Memory Association podcast. This edition is dedicated to school days and features stories of Bonington Road Primary in the 1940s, warm milk in wee bottles, football teams with future stars from Hibs and Hearts, the joy of an apple delivery in wartime, and Mr. Brunton, the dreamboat maths teacher. Back in time we go.
I went to Bonington Road School in Leith. That was my school for the primary. I was 38, so I went to school in 1943. We went in year 5. And I had one teacher or two, Miss Anderson. Old-fashioned, and easy. She wore a big smock thing. She looked prim looking. Well, she was a miss all her life, but... And any punishment you got wasn't with a belt, it was a ruler on the back of your leg. Because you had short toes, so you actually felt it if you were doing something naughty.
I can mind when I first went to school, the first... Shins. I remember that. First week I went to school, I kept it. My mum took me to school. I came back because it was just along the road, and I put my school bag under the mat and went out and played in the back green. And my mother came out, of course, and she tripped over my school bag. So she went out looking for me, of course, you know. She found me in the back green, and she took me back to school. For the first week, I didn't like school from then on.
I started off at Leith Links Primary, but I was only there for like one term, and then I was able to move to Dr. Bell's in Great Junction Street, which was quite good because I stayed in the middle of the Kirkgate, so I could just cut right through. So that was easier than going across the links.
Well, I started primary school age 5 in Achtermachty in 5, and I remember my very first teacher was called Miss Dewar, and she was very pucka. She was very well dressed, makeup, hair, perfect. And I remember my mother taking me there, and at the end of the morning or afternoon, picking me up and asking the teacher how she should encourage me in learning to read. And she said, should I be saying ABC or Abeka? This was my mother speaking. And I remember as a 5-year-old looking up at her thinking, why is she using that voice? She had her proper voice on because she was talking to the teacher. And it must have made a big impression on me, age 5.
But one of my memory was during one, I also remember they got a box of apples from British Columbia delivered to the school. Because that was a short supply, but it's a big thing to see an apple.
Yeah. Where did you go to secondary school, Maureen?
Was David Kilpatrick's, which was at the far end of North Junction Street it's in.
And is it still there?
No, it was flattened, and I suppose it's appropriate they built a care home on it.
The very first day, I sat beside a girl called Lorna Honeyman, and she had brought a little toy, that must have been allowed, and it was a black and white cow from a toy farmyard.
When would you have started school in Evan? What sort of year would that be?
1949.
I don't think the teachers were bad, you know. It was the way it was run in these days, but I don't think that was harmful to me, because you got belt if you were bad, you know.
Did you get the belt?
Okay. Of course, everybody got the belt in these days, you know. And you used to have to hold your hand double. We got the belt quite often, you know.
The thing I remember about school dinners was a lumpy custard. And I used to hate school milk. Not just me, most people didn't like school milk for some reason.
Because it was warm or
No, I don't know. It had a taste all of its own, if you know what I mean. Like,
Did it come in the wee bottles?
Yeah. Wee bottle,
I liked history. That was secondary, of course. We didn't get domestic science. Depending on your grades at your primary, when I went to school, it was you could go to a junior secondary or a senior secondary, which was like Leith Academy. So I went to the junior secondary. And there again, you're graded to whether you're in a domestic class or a commercial class. And if you went to the commercial, which was shorthand, bookkeeping, typing, you didn't get learnt the art of cooking or sewing. So I don't know what was... I don't know why they couldn't have combined them, really. I was in the commercial class, so I liked all the commercial subjects. I liked bookkeeping.
The school was called St Andrew's School, being in Malawi, or Blantyre as it was then, full of Scottish things. It was very close to the church, St Andrew's Church, where my parents were married and I was christened, but that's beside the subject. School, Mrs Morgan was our headmistress, and there were 2 rooms, although there were about 4 or 5 age differences, so it was a real muddle.
So how many would have been in your class?
About 5, maybe?
That all? Yeah, 5 people.
Well, in one class, there might have been 30 altogether.
Oh, right.
I'm not just terribly sure, but sort of...
And different age groups.
Yeah, but there were 2 big classrooms. It's all a bit of a muddle.
And was it all sort of expats?
Yes, all European.
Was it mainly Scottish?
Mostly, yeah.
Mostly Scottish?
Yeah.
PE teacher was a man called Bingham. Leith Academy in 80s was a rugby school.
Oh.
She mentioned football. Oh, you were cast aside. Oh, we don't mention football here at Skin. Oh, he was like that. When you got the belt for him, it was brutal.
Our registered teacher was Mr. Wishart. Gave the appearance of being a very dishevelled, grumpy type of man, but he was very nice. Our dreamboat was the maths teacher, Mr. Brunton, who was very nice and very suave, very Robert Taylor type, and Miss Finney. So yes, I liked all my teachers.
Mrs. Ray, I remember at Christmas, she had a little Christmas tree in the classroom, which was unusual for those days, and she asked if some of the girls could bring in a little doll to be the fairy on the tree. And I think several people brought in little dolls, but mine was the one that she chose. It must have been the right size. And she dressed it. She made this beautiful little fairy's costume for it with wings and a wand in her hand and a little headdress. And I still have that fairy from the top of the Christmas tree. She's looking a bit hackett now, but I still have her.
And does she go on your tree
She
then?
always goes on the tree, but not on the top of the tree. She hides in amongst the branches in her retirement.
They had a good football team, Leith Bonnet Road Primary, aye. 2 of the players went to play on for Hibs. Rab Nichol was his name. The other one was Alan Robertson. They signed up for Hibs, they were good.
Very good.
We had a good team, yeah. I was always a reserve. Never got picked for the team because I was slow.
Of what position were you playing?
A forward.
A forward?
But I was too
Too slow.
I couldn't run. That's the reason I never got a game, I think.
I got the Ducks prize in school. My father says to my mother, "We're going to have to give her a dog now, mate." And that was how we got our wee dog called Robbie.
Robbie, what kind of dog was he?
He was a wee Scotch terrier.
Oh.
I was the school was in at that time. It was into Burns, and that's who Robbie is. Robbie Burns.
I remember at Christmas time, she gave every pupil in her class threepence, a threepenny piece, unless they had given her a present, in which case they got a sixpenny piece. But my mum didn't really like her very much, so I didn't give her a present. So I wasn't one of the chosen ones. I think possibly she favoured the children of professional families. That was just a vague memory. You're not too aware of that at age 8, but I think possibly she did.
Tig was one of them, obviously. Used to even play hide and seek in the primary. We had a big cover area as well, Ken. And then obviously kicking a wee tennis ball about. That's what he done. There was no football as such in the days. Balls, you had to play with a tennis ball.
The first day at school was a dead loss because my granny, her family were all up and she was getting money. She got me a green velvet dress made. I was like a sore thumb and I'd rather been, I usually was like the rest of the folk, but she had me with green ribbon and this green velvet dress. And she even got me painted. I wish I could find that. It's a head.
Really? You had a portrait?
Yeah.
Good grief.
I don't know, there was something between my granny and I. I wasn't frightened or everybody else was. She had to make people frightened her to survive. She had to.
What, so she wouldn't be taken a loan of?
Oh, you wouldn't. She was that size. If she was 4 foot, she was lucky. I was getting nearly as big as her when I was 7. She died then.
After Castle Hill Primary, I went on to Bell Baxter High School in Cooper. If you were kind of clever, you were in 1A1 and you did Latin and French and so on. It was ability graded, so people that were not so academic, they would do more like domestic science, and I suppose the boys did woodwork and so on. And there was another class, C was always commercial, and it was all girls, and they did shorthand typing.
Everybody wore short shorts till they were 14. That's when you got longs, they called them.
At 15, you were ready to leave school. You weren't worldly wise, but you were ready to leave school and start to work.
And how many of your pals went on to Leith Academy then?
None of them.
Right, you all
We all
went
went to night school. That was how we chose to do it. We could continue at night school. So 4 of us all went to the Royal High and continued with our shorthand and typing there, because your speeds were very important.
For some reason, I passed the quali. Now, the local school in Leith was, well, Leith Academy and DK. Leith Academy was a bit kind of upper tier kind of school, senior secondary. But lo and behold, I passed the quali for Leith Academy. My mother couldn't afford a blazer for me, believe it or not. So she got a hand-me-down.
You needed one for Leith Academy?
Yeah, I had to get a hand-me-down for somebody. She knew, like, she cleaned her house for him. I got the son's blazer. Kind of felt like a hobo. You know, that was the way it went. So, you had no money. Low wages were terrible. Yeah, terrible they were.
I used to get told off for speaking, but I never got to start. I was a wee sook.
In primary 4, as I say, I had Miss Lumsden, and that class had 50 children in it. So I think it was maybe a composite class with 8-year-olds and 9-year-olds or something like that. The classroom itself was in tiers, you know, so it was the old traditional desks with the lifting up lid, individual desks. They were set back. Am I explaining that well?
Yes, yes, like theatre style.
Yes, like a theatre style.
Theatre
yes,
style
or like a
system,
lecture room. Yeah. And I suppose the older children were at the back and the younger ones at the front. She was very, very strict. Possibly had to be with a class of 50.
Any school uniform? Or?
Nothing like that in Bunting Road, no, nothing like that. Just went as you went, you know.
Did you have a set seat when you were in the class?
Yeah, and that was one of the earliest memories. I can remember her name, a girl, but the slates at the time. Slate, the paper was shorted during the war. And her name was Ada Cullen. And I sat next to her, and I hated it. Sit next to her lassie. So lo and behold, must have been a couple of years ago, my wife's on the computer thing, the tablet. People from abroad sat there. Lo and behold, her name came up. Ada Cullen. It's in Canada. I remember her, but I was embarrassed sitting next to a lassie again.
Well, I only had one term. It was at a convent in Salisbury. My sister was already there, but I had one term to get me the feelings for boarding school prior to coming to Scotland.
And going to boarding school?
Yes.
Yeah, here.
Which was totally different to boarding school. Strangely enough, there was a boy in my class in Blantyre who maybe 2 years later turned up at the school I was at in Scotland.
Yeah. I think he was following you, mate.
Kept in touch with him, and I went to his funeral as well.
There we are.
Because he was living down in the south of England, so I could see him. So it's a funny connection, that.
Yeah.
I couldn't climb up a rope. I could dream.
But
Getting up, it was the hardest for me. I was always a stiffy, because I met years ago. I was at a function, a long after school days, and this chap was sitting there, and I went in, and as I say, his name was Toto McNaughton. Now, anybody from Edinburgh in that day will know he was a well-known drummer in Edinburgh. Toto McNaughton. He was a school goalie. He said, I remember you. He says, I remember you been in the team, Toto. He says, aye. You were never in the A. I says, no. Then he says to me, because you're really slow, eh? which is correct, you know. It's correct.
Thank you so much to Frank, Wynne, Maureen, May, Evelyn, Auntie Rose and Alison for sharing their wonderful memories of school days with us. If you have a story to tell of days gone by, please pop in to see us at the Little Shop of Memory in Ocean Terminal, Leith, or at our new branch in West Lothian at the Centre, Livingston. You can also follow us on Twitter at THELMA Scotland, catch up on our regular events and workshops on Facebook, or check out our amazing collection of videos and photos on our YouTube channel by searching for the Living Memory Association. Our wonderful website has also been revamped, and it's at livingmemory.org.uk. Until next time, we bid you farewell.